Well, hello. How are you doing? I hope the month of February went fine for you. It's been a bit late, I know, right? For the third episode, I ran into some problem with my laptop, so it took a little while for me to update. Well, for all those who are listening to the Slick Talks for the first time, I'm your host, Narendra Thapa. This is a brand new podcast. I've been up to almost two episodes, and this is the third one. I've somehow convinced myself to, talk to myself about various perceptions that I have on some specific things which I encountered on daily basis, and that's how you get these episodes. But I'm not an interesting person, okay? Let me get this straight. Since the lockdown, there's not much happening in my life, and ever since I've started to surround myself with books, literature, Reddit threads, posts from Quora, and tweets from famous personalities along with the laptop, which by the way I have to surgically remove from myself whenever my company calls me. And in the very laptop I have a Netflix account, so basically right now I'm like completely dissolved in my room. Oh my god, I'm fucked up. So, this is the basic premise of this podcast. I have some eccentric thoughts which are formulated by contemplating a particular situation that has come to my attention. Then I record it, I try to edit it, and by editing, I just align a mellow lo fi beat parallel to my voice, and that's it. Sometimes I think it's the only reason people listen to me. And then I post it. Actually looking for some individual perception on any topic specific to any episode. So if you have your own view and also if you agree with my opinion or may not agree, please let me know on the comment section. Maybe you can change my mind. I'm actually open to any suggestion. So it was the first week of February when I was figuring out the topic for the third episode. As usual, I was scrolling through some social media handles looking for some content. There were many topics, but I couldn't help myself to choose a topic that has been suggested by the month itself. Yup, the month of love it was. Okay, so you figured out the topic, right? Whenever these four letters from our beloved alphabetical series make their way to align themselves one after another, it always strikes an infamous question that the left side of my brain has a keen interest in. Love. Is it a choice or a feeling? I'm certain that this is not my expertise, but I guess I'm kind of allowed to assume, right? So, in my own bizarre assumption, I think the whole concept of love lasting forever is not true. Something don't last forever, but if you're lucky enough, they last for a lifetime. When you fall in love, instead of throwing out your broken pieces, you collect them and glue them back together. Love is compassionate, it's committed, and it's everlasting sometimes. Often you suffer in love, you betrayed in love, or get betrayed in love. Sometimes you hated in love. Love can be a vital catalyst for atrocities. But despite these cons, we never stop loving, do we? That brings me to the very question which apparently I've asked repeatedly to myself this month. Is love a feeling or a choice? It's the left side of my brain that loves to logically dissect conflicts, which I must confess has got me into a lot of trouble lately. So, with that thought in mind, let's get into trouble, shall we? So, if choice is what we can depict as the nature of love, why do we never be aware? Aware that we are falling in love? As a general rule, that I guess we all know, when we are presented with some options, we generally know what we are getting into before making any rational decision, right? I mean, like, we know the consequences of all the options that we'll choose. That brings me to another query, like, why cannot we ever say to ourselves, like, I want to fall in love with this person and just do it. If love is truly a choice. Make sense? In contrast, if you paint love as the fragment of feeling, then the whole idea of promising to love one another until death do apart doesn't make any sense. Like every marriage ceremony and every marital stuff like vows and saat feres, anityo red sindoor is completely meaningless because feelings are usually beyond our control and they are not reliable. Feelings can come and go. It's impossible to know how things will turn out. The only way we can judge that love will remain forever is when we decide that it will last forever. Well, if you ask me, I believe love is both a choice and a feeling. In a nutshell, one can fall in love as a feeling, but deciding to stay in love is a choice. Love is like holding roses without any concern about getting pricked by the thorns. It's telling them that you love them even in the worst days, saying, I don't know how we'll get through this, but except for one thing, that I'll stick around until it gets better. It's an amazing feeling in the beginning, but for love to last a lifetime, one has to evolve into a commitment of never letting go, never letting this person go for as long as they let you. Pretty big talk, I know, right? Here comes some more. Do you even know what's love? I asked to myself as I haven't been in love, well, romantically, of course. According to the dictionary, love is the deepest interpersonal affection, encompasses a range of strong and positive emotions. While my beloved character, played by Jim Parsons in The Big Bang Theory, concluded love as a feeling for his girlfriend that cannot be explained in any other way. Well, this comes from a person who has to learn to distinguish whether a statement is a sarcasm or a not, but still, he is far more experienced than me. But look at this. Can we really define love? Like, can we really put a definition to love? In my observation, I've figured out some varieties of love. In our society, I've noticed that often in prime, we look at love as the relationship that we have with our romantic partner. We tend to normalize other form of love that has surrounded us from the moment that we were born. Any questions relates to love has been directly narrowed to the romantic relationship that we have with our partner. It's not meant as an offense, guys, but it strikes me as a desperate behavior by an ignorant person. When I was researching around this topic, I had to research about this, otherwise, I'm like completely blank. So, I've come across a fascinating article that elaborates on the stages of love through science and human biology. The article has 3 stages, with of course lust being the stage 1. Oh my god, I have to elaborate lust now? Well, to be specific, lust in men is driven by testosterone, and in women we generally like to call it estrogen. For the general population, this is usually driven by physical attraction, while others may prefer intelligence, confidence, or financial stability as an attractive qualities. It is fueled by an immense pressure of desire. Often it's really hard to differentiate it. Is it a love or lust? Well, in what way do you use to identify whether you really love your partner or you just really into them? How long does it take for the switch to happen from, of course, lust to love? Well, that's stage 2. My research suggested that when testosterone and estrogen are replaced by dopamine, triggering our adrenaline, making us happy and excited, that's love. And as stated by the same report, that is why falling in love feels like an addictive rush. It's exactly like a sense of high. And yes, it's the same type of high that we used to do in our college. Well, kind of, I guess. We experience a kind of high whenever we see them, we speak to them, or even we think about them. We start to feel the sense of euphoria when we are around them. A high similar to the feeling you'll get from drugs and alcohol. Your heart will race, you can't think straight, your palms will be sweaty, and you will smile for just no apparent reason. Yeah, that's the feeling of love. Well, every so often, love doesn't usually have to start with lust. Sometimes it starts with friendship. Love could be the best friend of you have known since for a long time since you were a child. It's like knowing someone so precisely that you can anticipate their actions, their reactions. Even if you are not blood related, you call them as your brother or sister. It's not necessarily for love to start with lust every time. The same way that love is lust, but not all lust is love. There are times when love built on fun, flirtation, infatuation, and devotion. It's as simple as going out for drinks with a friend. The moment we hold a friend's head as they puke on the sink when the booze level goes above the usual level. I've been there. You can add as many examples as you can, but I hope you get my point. A love like this doesn't demand any type of obligations or application to be loved. Love is simply love. Let's talk about love that has been installed in our system from the moment we firstly came into existence. To pursue love, it's often required the presence of mutual trust, time, commitment, and acceptance between two people. But if this statement stands for itself and it's like completely true, then how come this element doesn't exist between a mother and a child? But love does. Here comes the concept of love and hate coexisting in a similar platform. I have a younger brother with whom I'm sharing a house, so I can extremely relate to this notion. If you are living with your sibling, you will probably understand what I'm saying. It's a form of love that only exists between blood relatives, or perhaps a long friendship that grows into a family, or relatives who never miss an opportunity to inquire about your current package soon after they meet. It's a kind of love that we have to share, even if they are not the nicest person in the world. As strange as it may seem, this kind of love doesn't limit itself to individuals. It's the same type of love that we have for our favorite IPL team. As a fan, you always hope that your favorite team will win, but somehow they always end up losing. Yet every new season, you take your pieces together and put on your jersey, shouting, "This is our season! This is our season!" Right? I hope that gives you the idea of the club that I'm supporting. Avian water, huh? That's an odd type of love because usually when we fall in love, we get closer to one another. In order to spend time with them, we tend to go to extreme length. However, love can sometimes mean going home even when you don't like to go home, even when you don't really like to talk to the people you're with. It's simply a sense of security. Amour propre. One of my favorite kind of love is this. A French word that can be translated as self-love is amour propre. Kendrick Lamar stands out to me as an artist whose work I really admire. He released his second studio album, goes by the name Good Kid, Mad City. There is a song that goes by the name Real.
What the both of you have to offer. In fact, I love it so much I don't love anything else. But what love got to do with it when I don't love myself to the point I should hate everything I do love? Should I hate living my life inside the club?
He says, what love got to do when I don't love myself? It's only when you love yourself and fully understand the weight that it carries that you are capable of loving others as they deserve to be loved. It is something we shouldn't take for granted. In order to love, you have to look out for yourself and realize that love is not just something you can give to others, but is primarily something you can give to yourself. So sometimes I take myself out and give myself a treat now and then. Celebrating myself doesn't really require me to achieve anything. The same way that a person doesn't have to do something for me to love them. I don't have to do anything for me either. Love is when I stop comparing myself to others, when I forgive myself for all the mistakes that I have made in the past. Love is when you wake up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and be proud of the person staring right back at you. Being in love means leaving toxic relationship and not feeling obligated to stay, no matter who they are or how important they are. It means choosing yourself over and over again and protecting yourself as you would protect anyone else. Love is being kind to yourself in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions, because only those who truly love themselves will be able to love others. It all begins with you and it all ends with you. So that's for the third episode. I'm your host, Narendra Thapa. I'll meet you back another month with an episode number 4. Don't forget to like the video and comment your opinion. And I guess you might have already subscribed it. But if you haven't subscribed my channel, then please subscribe it. Until then, keep yourself hydrated. I have nothing much to say. Bye bye.